led by Dr. Julius Bryant, Sweet Pilgrim Baptist Church, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence following the pledge.
Let us pray. Father, we come today. We thank you this morning for another opportunity to hear the voices of the people. Father, I ask in the name of Jesus that the meeting is productive. God, that all malice and hatred, God, be removed. Father, we pray for productive meeting. We, God, that your word, according to your word, you said that we can't walk together except we be agreed. Father, I pray that you allow the city council people to hear the voices of the people. I pray that you allow the people to hear the voices of the city councilman. And I ask in Jesus' name that you continue to bless us, give us creative anointings and abilities, God, that we may come to agreement. We thank you for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd ask that we would all continue to stand for a moment of silence. We all know that very recently a senseless act of domestic terrorism occurred in Pittsburgh at the Tree of Life Synagogue that caused the life of 9 individuals to be cut down in a very, I can't think of a better way to describe it, but a very senseless act of terrorism. And I'd ask that we would observe a moment of silence in memory of those 11 individuals. Our scripture tells us in John 16:33 that I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, for I have overcome the world. Joyce Feinberg, Richard Godfrey, Rose Mallinger, Gary Rabinowitz, Cecil Rosenthal, and David Rosenthal, Bernice Simon, and Sylvan Simon, Daniel Steen, Melvin Wax, and Irvin Younger are the 11 names of those who were cut down so tragically. And if we would, let's observe.
I would like to add 2 additions to that.
Sure.
Okay, I would like to also add the 2 that were shot dead outside of Louisville, Kentucky. It was a hate crime. They were in Kroger's, and someone came, shot one down in Kroger's and another one down in the parking lot. I would like to add those 2 victims to the list also.
That's certainly appropriate. Let us observe the moment of silence for all 13 whose lives were tragically cut short. Thank you.
Roll call. Vice President Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Small.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. We're certainly happy to have all of you here in attendance for this week's Mobile City Council meeting. The rules are serious rules that we ask that everyone would observe. First, if you would turn off all electronic devices, cell phones, pagers, beepers, before or upon entering our meeting. Anyone desiring to address the council is asked to sign in, indicating the resolution, ordinance, appeal, or public agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, the speaker must clearly state his or her name and personal address. Any person desiring to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk's office on the Thursday prior to the Tuesday in which you would like to speak. We ask that all items be pertinent to the city of Mobile or would pertain to city of Mobile business. If it does not, then you won't be allowed to speak. And the person who has not given that proper notice to the clerk won't be acknowledged or allowed to speak at this present council meeting. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 4 minutes. That will let you know that you have 1 minute remaining for summarizing. The second bell indicates that all of your time has expired. When addressing the council, there is to be no personal address to any individual council member. All statements are to be made to the chair, who is myself, who will recognize any council member who would like to respond. To maintain decorum, there will be no undue applause and or public outcry allowed. These are the rules of the Mobile City Council, and we certainly appreciate your interest in your local municipal government. Madam City Clerk.
Approval of minutes from October 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved to the second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Communications from the mayor's office.
Mr. Vice President, with your permission, would like to ask Mr. Frank Harkins of Goodwill Easter Seal to come down front, approach the podium to receive a proclamation, and with your indulgence, to make his presentation out of order at that time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It's my pleasure again to come before you for the 25th time to present our 25th official Christmas ornament on the Gulf Coast. This year it's Pullman's Bakery. They've been here for 100 years. 100 years they've been serving our community. We've enjoyed them. Delicious treats. It's special to me because my wife, Debbie, and I, when we got married, they made our wedding cake. That wasn't 100 years ago, though. So I know tomorrow's Halloween. I know we got Thanksgiving to go, but every day's Christmas around here. So I'd like to present this ornament to each of the city council persons and the mayor, and thank you all for what you do for our community. We appreciate that. And if I could just add a note to your word of silence, which I greatly appreciate. When tragedy is anywhere in the United States, it strikes at all of our hearts and homes. One of the victims was a member of the Goodwill team in Pittsburgh and his brother. So our hearts are with all of you. Thank you.
Mr. Vice President, I would like to read the proclamation while Mr. Harkins is in front of you. And it reads, whereas Goodwill Easter Seals of the Gulf Coast provides services in 12 counties along the Gulf Coast and is a nonprofit provider of services for people with disabilities and others in need. And whereas Goodwill Easter Seals provide children and family services for preschool and daycare, early intervention programs, therapy, support, and social services, medical equipment, assistance, and adult educational services. And whereas to help support these valuable programs and services, Goodwill Easter Seals is introducing the 2018 Chris on the Coast ornament, the 25th in a series of limited edition Christmas ornaments, this year celebrating the historic Pullman's Bake Shop in their 100th year. Now therefore, I, William S. Stimson, 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, Alabama, hereby officially recognize the Christmas on the Coast ornament as the official 2018 ornament of the City of Mobile.
I want to take a moment of liberty
if I may simply say thank you to Frank and all the people of Goodwill East Seals. And if there's anybody in the room or listening thinks they have their head around what Goodwill Easter Seals does for our city, I would just ask you to take a step back and then take an opportunity to go and visit them and do it regularly, because it's changing, it's growing, and there's not a community or an effort that you can think of that's in some way Goodwill Easter Seals is touching. I'm glad to be a small part of that, both here in this chair and personally, and proud to be your friend. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you. Thank you so much to all that Goodwill Easter Seals does, and also to Pullman Bakery, that probably has added about 10 pounds to my waistline this year alone. So for 100 years they have been here. I am pleased. I have a proclamation, and I'd like to ask Command Sergeant Major Gloria R. Green to come forward. I am honored to present this proclamation to Command Sergeant Major Gloria R. Green. She has served our country valiantly. She has given of herself and sacrificed in ways that very few could quite understand. And she has such great ties to the city of Mobile. She recently retired. She's a native of the city of Mobile, and we certainly think that it's appropriate that her native city recognize her accomplishments. So this proclamation reads thus: whereas Command Sergeant Major Gloria R. Green is being honored for her selfless service and exemplary bravery involving multiple assignments and many awards, and retiring after a 30-year career with the United States Army. And whereas she graduated from Williamson High School, which is in District 2, received an associate degree in business management from Bishop State Community College, a BS degree from Excelsior University, a Master of Arts degree in Business and Information Security from Webster University. And whereas Command Sergeant Major Green has served in many capacities, including Commandant at Joint Base Lewis McChord, Tacoma, Washington, and United States European Headquarters Command, Stuttgart, Germany, support operations at Camp Carroll, Korea, course facilitator, Sergeant Major Academy at Fort Bliss, Texas, sustainment command at Fort Hood, Texas, first sergeant at Fort Hood, Texas, platoon sergeant at Fort Hood, Texas, and Camp Humphreys, Korea, instructor at Fort Lee, Virginia, course support battalion at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and unit supply sergeant at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, serving in Operation Iraqi Freedom, and whereas her awards and decorations include the Legion of Merit, Bronze Star Medal, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Meritorious Service Medal 5 OLC, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Army Achievement Medal, Army Good Conduct Medal, 10th Award, National Defense Service Medal, Iraqi Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Korea Defense Service Medal, Non-Commissioned Officer Professional Development Ribbon, numeral 5, Army Service Medal, Overseas Ribbon, numeral 5, and Air Assault Badge. Command Sergeant Major Green is also a member of the Sergeant Artie Murphy Club. and recipient of the Distinguished Order of St. Martin. And whereas Command Major Green and her husband, Ivan, are the proud parents of 4 children. Now, therefore, I, Lavon Charles Manzi, Council Vice President, along with members of the Mobile City Council, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 30th, 2018, as Command Sergeant Major Gloria R. Green Day in Mobile, and proudly urge all of our citizens join with us in thankful recognition of your faithful service and tremendous service. Thank you. And we have, in addition to this proclamation and to our naming today in your honor, we also would like to present you with something that is not presented often, but I think someone of your caliber and of your service and sacrifice merits the presentation of the key to the city of Mobile, Alabama. Thank you. All that Our Command Sergeant Major is an example that you can start here in the city of Mobile. And if you have hard work, dedication, and commitment, and you put God first, in all things are possible. So I'm going to ask that you would join the entire council. Let's get a picture with all of them.
No doubt
This
about
is very rare. We don't do this every week now, but this is for you.
Coming up here, Lamont? Yeah.
Just come.
Yes.
While they're making their way up here, there was a lot of words said there. What may have not been understood is the Command Sergeant Major is the highest enlisted rank in our military, in our Army. She surpassed the level of working and went to the ultimate level of supervision of all workers. And what is not said very often is that she made so many officers look good during that time, one of which is me, and making our Army great. Command Sergeant Major is it simply speaks volumes in the ranks, and I'm glad to have her in our office.
We're all organized. I'm city clerk.
Who are we looking at? Ooh, sorry. I mean,
Come on.
Hold up.
Some more? Airborne.
thank you. Terrific. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Give her another big round of applause. We thank our brother, Reverend Edwards, does such a great job here in the city of Mobile with our people united to advance the dream. And again, congratulations.
Mr. Vice President.
Mr. Dave.
It's hard for me to add anything to what Mr. Williams said, except to say that I would just like to give my highest commendation and thanks to the Command Master Sergeant for a lifetime of service to our great country. You are a model for everybody, everywhere. Thank you so much for your service.
Mr. Vice President, I think it may be appropriate at this point, and I don't think it would be a more of a appropriate time for 7 young ladies that are participating in a program to see someone, these are all these in one program, scholarship program, to see the ultimate achievement of a lady in our military. And so I'd like to, if you wouldn't mind, somebody's got their button on, let me recognize them, if you would.
I don't have one problem.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
First of all, my friend Tina Peru is here from the, I still call it the Tillman's Corner Chamber, and our community center there. And this program has been ongoing for many years and very successfully recruiting or finding the leaders among our high school seniors. In this case, again, all ladies. These come to us from Cottage Hill, Davidson, Elmer Bryant, Mobile Christian, McGill-Tulane, and Baker High School. They are Madison McElwain, if you'll just raise your hand. Juliana Popple from Elmer Bryant. And Miss McElwain is from Baker. Caroline Hamilton from the great institution on Old Shell Road that I refer to as McGill-Tulane. Go Jackets. Catherine Bryan from Mobile Christian. Skylar McVeigh from Davidson. Maggie Roffer from Cottage Hill Christian. Catherine Allred from Cottage Hill Christian. Again, this is a class that will have an opportunity not only to visit here, has visited with the county commission, many businesses, and we'll make another opportunity for them to visit with the mayor. They're going to get an insight to Mobile and hopefully give them that dream to hear and make Mobile the greatest city in America. Thank y'all for being here with us.
Angie Jordan with Muscular Dystrophy Association.
Thank you. Good morning, council members and citizens of Mobile. Thank you guys so much for giving me a few minutes to take some time to honor the men and women of Mobile Fire and Rescue. I'm here today to thank them. Captain Dwight Smith is here with me today to accept this small token of our appreciation. They have participated for 20 years. This is our 20th year of Fill the Boot. We started in 1998. In that time, they have raised over $400,000 for families and children with muscle disease. So round of applause to them. We've passed 6 drugs through the FDA. We have the summer camp. We have clinic, all because of the money raised through the Fill the Boot program and the citizens of Mobile. So thank you on behalf of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Council in the background. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Proper motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver noise ordinance on November 17th on Halls Mill Road.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Public hearings. Today is a public hearing to determine if structures at 2060 Clinton Street, 2062 Clinton Street, and 653 Crawford are public nuisances and ordering them demolished.
Is there anyone here that would like to offer any commentary relative to these public hearings? Again, anyone that would like to speak? If not, public hearings are closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Wesley Young.
Morning.
Good morning.
My name is Wesley Young. I reside at 3058 James Street, Mobile, Alabama. I'm here this morning to speak on the council, to the council again, about employees that was present. in the
With all
people's
respect, Mr. Young,
Excuse me.
by the rules of the council, slanderous remarks, which would include these very specific about a very specific person, are in direct violation of our rules. And so I ask they either be removed or we wait until they are removed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again,
Well, at the end of the day, Mr. Young signed in to speak, and he didn't have. Wait, hold it. Wait 1 second. You don't know what I'm saying. Mr. Williams is absolutely right, and so you have messages here. You did not sign in to speak. Mr. Young did. So if you all would allow Mr. Young to make his statement without any assistance, it would be appreciated.
We gonna do that. Our signs are right here.
Yes, ma'am. But I'm going.
We can stand.
No, ma'am. There's no law that says that.
Okay, pull back
Wait
your
1
records.
second. Hold it.
Pull
Hold
back your
it.
records
Hold
and
1
look at
second.
this.
Hold 1
Look
second.
at your opinion.
Hold 1 second. All I'm asking is that you all allow Mr. Young to have his time.
We will.
You all did not sign in,
No, we didn't.
so I'm going to ask that you have your seat.
When he asked us.
I'm going to ask that you all would have your seat. Mr. Young is going to have his full 5 minutes. He doesn't need the Supremes. He doesn't need the Supremes in order to make his statement. Hold it. Just let Mr. 1 second. 1 second. Let's not go. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I did.
I would like to call for the Sergeant Arms to remove
Right.
the
Now,
young lady
I'm trying hard.
from the building, please.
So at this time, Mr. Young, if you all could set his 5 minutes back. Mr. Young, if you could state your name and your address clearly. He's well able to speak for himself. Mr. Young.
again, my name is Wesley Young.
Yes, sir.
I reside at 3058 James Street. I'm not here for no ball of confusion. I'm here to make statements that's relevant to employees in the city of Mobile that was here on October the 9th, crying out for help. Can you hear it now?
There we go.
Okay. Those employees was here on October the 9th. They wasn't here asking for raises. They wasn't here asking for anything beneficial to them other than they was calling out, crying out for help. I've been before this council all year long with the same identical statements about these employees that needed help. They haven't received any. We've heard about investigations. We haven't received any investigation. There was one audit May 1st. We haven't gotten an investigation, conclusion of the investigation. So I want to make it very, very clear that those employees did not violate any rules. They were simply here to ask for help. And I'm here this morning on their behalf to ask for the continuance of the help that I've been asking for the last several months. That's all I'm here for today. Not confrontation, but to be able to ask a request from this council to do an investigation, an independent investigation, to get to the root of these problems. That's what I'm here for today. And I'll leave you with these words of the late Dr. Martin Luther King. It's always the right time to do what's right.
Thank you, Mr. Young.
Michael Brown.
My name is Michael Brown. My address is 5185 West Santos Drive, Mobile. Go ahead. I'm also here on behalf of the city employees, myself being a former city employee of trash department. And I know for a fact I was supposed to be on vacation, but there was no way I could go on vacation and not be here to support those guys. I was there. I was a member of trash department for 15 years. I grew up in the Mobile Trash Department, and I served my well. But I myself was a victim of the same scrutiny. That's why I know for a fact when they cried out for help, I know it. I felt the same way of being ridiculed and worked on and being picked on by the same leadership that's there now. And so there's no way I could sit quiet and allow what to go on and not say anything. For guys that work hard on their job, know my job, they guys know their job, and to be picked on and to be for no reason, well, there's a reason, and we all know, and I think it's wrong. And those guys came here crying for help, and they asked the city council to do an investigation. Find out what's going on. Find out why your city employees had to take off and come here. There's a reason for it. Thank you.
Mr. Brown, thank you for coming down. You say you a former employee of the city?
Yes, Mr. Small, I retired.
Oh, you retired?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You look mighty young to be retired.
Yeah, I'm young.
Okay, then that's what I was wondering. You say you was a former employee. But to Mr. Brown and to Young, on our agenda today is where a resolution is being introduced where there is an investigation that some of the council member has sponsored to go out. Our rules is for delay it over for 1 week. I did ask in pre-council if we can move this up to today and can it be voted on today to start an investigation. One of my colleagues stated that they want the public to really read the resolution. So by our rules, that it's going to have to wait for another week. It's my hope that next week, with the 5 votes to go ahead and pass this resolution for an investigation can be started on behalf of the council and everything. The council cannot administrate. Only thing we can do is legislate. But when it comes around to the citizen services, you know, that's where we can really just step up and say, hey, you know, what's going on? And we know that we've been prolonged in trash pickup throughout the whole city. So the council is saying what's going on. So hopefully we can have our 5 votes next week and we go ahead and pass this resolution and start the investigation. And that's for you and to Mr. Young.
Appreciate it.
All right. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Brown, Mr. Young, I echo those comments of my colleague and friend, Mr. Small. This is about as fast as this could have happened, and it is following the law and putting it in the right place so that we use our proper powers. So it is there, and I'm confident that it will pass next week as well.
Mrs. Rich.
Thank you. As Public Service Chair of the Council Committee, it was very important that this council handle this correctly. We have met with our attorney to come up with a path forward. There are 4 council people that have signed on as sponsors, and I am hopeful that all of the council will want to do this investigation. It is a concern when our citizen services are missed or there are problems that we hear about from city employees. We cannot get involved in the day-to-day operations. It's not our lane, and we know that it's up to the administration to handle all employee day-to-day activities, and we respect that highly. We do want to say that an independent entity doing this investigation is a good path forward. If you can get a copy of our resolution, you'll see the background of how we arrived at that decision. And I know the administration, of course, will cooperate because we all want what's best for our community. And I thank you for coming down here. It's always good to hear from our employees. We wish it was more positive, but again, we thank you for your service, and we look forward to the independent investigation that will hopefully enlighten us, and we'll have a clear path. So thank you very much.
Mr. Richardson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Zogby Act provides the City Council the authority to investigate any aspect of city government. And we have heard too many complaints regarding the Public Service Department, what's happening to them. And for the benefit of those who don't have an agenda before them, this is what this resolution says, 60-775. Authorize and investigate into the working condition of the Public Works Department and appoint a special counsel to investigate, to conduct the assist in the investigation. So we would not be doing the investigating ourselves. We're going to appoint a special person to conduct this investigation. I would like to close with another one of Dr. Martin Luther King's quotes. Truth, though crushed to the earth, will rise again. We will find out the truth.
Thank you to Mr. Young and to Mr. Brown for coming down. For months now, we've been hearing about issues about working conditions in the Public Works and Sanitation Department. And I think it's certainly incumbent upon us, after hearing all of this, to use whatever abilities we are afforded through Zogby to find out what's really going on. What was really startling to me was for those men and women to leave their jobs and come down here in the middle of the day in order to essentially let us know that they needed help. It was a cry for help. It was a plea for help. And so I'm going to ask our attorney, if you would, for the sake of those who are here and those who might be listening, if you could briefly go over exactly what this resolution calls for. It's on the agenda today. We'll vote on it next week. I'm sponsoring this piece of this resolution. Along with Councilman Richardson and Mrs. Rich. And who else is on here? Mr.
Small.
Mr. Small. But I would hope that we have 7 votes on this next week, because 7 of us have been hearing from the workers of this department for months, probably a year at this point. And so it goes deeper than finances, because this council has already worked to give a raise. And this action took place after that. And so if you could give us a brief rundown of exactly what the resolution asks us to support.
Yes, sir. As you have noted, the Zogby Act empowers the City Council to investigate the conduct of any office, department, agency, officer of the city, or make investigations into any municipal affair, and also gives you the power to subpoena witnesses, administer oaths, and compel the production of books, papers, and other evidence. The power of investigation is a serious power, and the resolution provides that the council is mindful that this power should be reserved only for the most serious matters. The number and severity of complaints for over so long a period of time is unprecedented, and the council believes an investigation is warranted so that they can have a full understanding of all of the facts. It is not the intent of the council to duplicate or bypass the personnel grievance system. Rather, the council will seek to establish facts that can be the basis for further discussions with the administration and/or the Mobile County Personnel Board, new legislation, or other steps that may be necessary. The investigation will require the council to appoint an investigative committee that will be guided in its work with a special counsel or special master, and the committee will detail the scope of the investigation, limit the scope, and also determine the fees. And that's, oh, excuse me, I forgot the last part. It says that no later than December the 15th, the committee shall file a full report with the City Council setting forth its findings and recommendations. Of course, that December 15th date will depend on how quickly the investigator can have access to documents and personnel. But it should not be a long, drawn-out process.
Thank you, Madam Council Attorney. Madam City Clerk.
Randall Wheeler and Sergeant March.
They're not here, I don't think they're here.
This is regarding badges, just building bonds with local youth.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Randall Wheeler, owner of Coastal Security. I'm coming forth to you today about a program that we build. It's called Building Badges with Local Youth.
Mr. Wheeler, could we get your address, please?
I'm sorry?
Could we get your address?
Yes, 3308 Dolphin Parkway, Suite C.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We we built a program with all the violence that we have these days with kids and different things like that. Me and Sergeant Jeremy March actually built a program that we go out and help kids. So we actually got with Chief Baptiste, Chief Seeley from the fire department, and this program has been growing for the last 2 years. We go out and we do school supplies, bike angels, different events like that. We took care of 5 kids' school supplies this year. And I'm coming to you today. We have another event coming up December the 18th at the spot. We're going to go out and try to do the bike angels this year. And our goal this year is to take care of 300 to 500 kids this year on the bike angels program. Last year we did about 120 bikes last year, and it went very smooth. We fed everybody. Mobile PD brought out the squad cars, and the fire department brought out fire trucks. So the kids was actually able to come out and get on those and see different things that they have and what they can do. So I'm gonna leave a paper here today. If everybody could just come in and help us out with this and try to see if we can save kids as we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick question, if I might.
Mr. Gregory.
And I know Mrs. Rich is going to ask, so I'll go ahead and ask her question as well. If we can get that in a PDF form, we can put that in our newsletters. But the one question that I did have is, are you looking for donations so y'all can go out and buy the bikes? Is that how it works?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We do donations from everywhere, and a lot of it will come out of our pocket, actually.
Okay, but the donations will help you then go out and buy the bikes?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
And if you win that to Ms. Lambert, the PDF, and we can put that in our newsletters.
Okay, somebody just give me a word to send it to. I'll make sure it get there today.
Yeah, be great. Thank you.
I also like to say to Mr. Wheeler, thank you for so much all the good work that you're doing in the community. Mr. Wheeler has a security company and up and coming, and being very productive within the city of Mobile. And thank you for your services.
Reggie Hill.
Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Hill is speaking regarding Resolution 6775.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council, in the absence of the mayor to the administration, citizens and stakeholders of Mobile, good morning. Reggie Hill, 1007 Center Street. I'm very disappointed standing today, Mr. Chairman. The decorum of this arena, the regard to citizens, taxpayers, who provide all the necessary resources for anything in the city.
Mr. Hill, I'm just asking, are your comments relative to 6775.
I believe that everyone here that's on the council as well as in administration is at work. 6775 is discussing work conditions leading into Public Works Department and a resolution that has been placed on the table. I believe I'm in complete compliance with addressing the council in regards to 6775. I'm going right into exactly what I'm saying. Now, my background is music, so maybe you haven't heard of a prelude before going into the main portion of the piece, the main part of the movement.
Mr. Hill, now you've been down here several times, and we've heard you on a long list of subject items. You know exactly how this process works.
Well, I also know, Mr. Chairman, that we're not supposed to have slanderous words said to people in this place, but even from the main voice of the council, we're hearing that's the citizens within here. So there's a lot of stuff that we say is supposed to be done.
Mr. Hill, either go on and let's talk about the investigation into the working conditions in Public Works, if you don't mind.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get to, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
I actually rose today, and I don't know how all these things into confusion, but to commend the people who wanted to put forth the investigation. And I wanted to actually speak about the idea of why the investigation is even necessary. We do so much on the surface level of things in our community. We do so much not actually investigating on what the truth of the entire matter is, and we allow these things to escalate and destroy opportunities for our cities to grow. But now giving us opportunities to actually work collectively and cohesively together, recognizing that we are more similar than we are different. These sanitation workers, to me, are a prime representation of exactly what the citizenship of this community is. We've been completely overlooked. So when we get to see an opportunity for an investigation, a thorough investigation, not just something being compiled together just because it seems to be necessary for the moment, or it may look good for our ideological justifications or partisan rhetorics. When we're actually doing something for the benefit of our people, this is something that we have to do something thorough about. And the only reason I say that is it's deeper, and I know the time frame said by December 15th, but I'm hoping that whatever council is appointed will dig truly into what this is that's going on. This one incident is an opportunity that our Creator has allowed us to see a reflection that should resonate with all residents in this area about what really happens in Mobile. Too often, this is a public forum. We should be able to address regarding any single thing and not be in a position to where we're threatened or we feel vulnerable to come to our leaders. Now, oftentimes I hear where the council say it's supposed to be administration says it's supposed to be the council, and I always try to come and say, well, we each can collectively put our hands at the table together to get it done. But this is just, it's saddening to see where we're going. Now, I'm confident that if the people put all of us in this realm, and when I say all of us, because you represent all the people, if the people put you here back in this seat again, there are 8 main leaders of the city of Mobile. 8, just 8. Now, it would be foolish upon us to believe that those 8 alone are going to be able to just solve each and every single issue we face in our various communities. That's why we have to come in and share the burden. We have to come in and share the burden. So I'm asking that this be a pilot into moving forth into investigating way more than just what's going on with sanitation workers. Way more than just what's happening in the Public Works Department. Way more than just what's showing up on an agenda. Because there's so much that we're missing in the city of Mobile because we aren't working as one unit. A lot of stuff sounds great. I mean, it sounds amazing. But until we begin actually walking in that, actually believing that it's possible, regardless if we differ in opinions on how to do policy, regardless if we differ on opinions on what we should invest our resources in, we need to be looking at this as a moment, and this ironic, that it's the last thing before calling for public hearings, that this will be on the agenda in that order. This needs to be the thing that leads and parallels us into actually doing what we're supposed to do as people in the city. So I thank you for the opportunity to speak, but my heart is just heavy right now because it's week after week after week. I mean, resources just going away. People's jobs are concerned their livelihood going away. All these things that should be at the top tier of our concerns as public servants, not as elected officials, public servants. So we need to hear due diligence and what our citizens are requesting. And as always, I'm working with anybody. I'm in the trenches daily.
Mr. Hill.
So I know what some troubles are.
Yes,
I thank
sir.
you for your time, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time and for your efforts in the trenches. Madam City Clerk.
CIP resolutions held over. 21749, authorized contract with Gorham Air Conditioning Company for Dearborn YMCA chiller replacement.
Second.
Properly motion and second in the discussion. If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
Resolutions held over. 21750, authorized contract with Galler Builders for Mobile Public Library Administration building exterior repairs. 21751, authorized contract with Gorham Air Conditioning for HVAC replacement Phase 2 Mobile, Alabama Cruise Terminal. 21752, authorized contract with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama 2019 administrative fees. 37753, approved certificate of public convenience and necessity to Michael Dory doing business as Wild Navy to operate a boat charter service. 37754, approve a certificate of public convenience and necessity to Curtis Carcom III doing business as ANC Net to operate a shuttle service. And 6755, approve $1,000 award to Wanda Bonham for City of Mobile employee suggestion.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Items pass.
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 40759 through 60768.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 4759 through 6768.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
40.
Opposed? Yes, ma'am.
4759, 760, 761 are declaring structure at 2060 Clinton Street, 2062 Clinton Street, and 653 Crawford Lane public nuisances and ordering them demolished. 58762 and 763 are declaring weeds noxious and authorizing removal of weeds, groups 1585 and 1582. 60, 764, 765, 766, and 767 are determining expenditures of discretionary funds for contributions to River du Chêne Estates Property Owners Association, Quotes of Valor, Historic Mobile Preservation Society, and Mobile United serves a public purpose and approved payment. 6768, approval award of special to Jeffrey Lee, Firefighter of the Month.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Items approved.
CIP resolutions being introduced, 21769 through 21770.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 21769 and 21770 will lay over for 1 week by council rules.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21769, authorize a contract amendment with Hutchinson, Moore, and Roush for Moores Creek East Branch drainage improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 09771 through 6775.
Said resolutions will lay over for 1 week by council rules.
Call for public hearings, 41776, call for public hearing to rezone property at 916 Church Street, northeast corner of Church Street and Marine Street from B1 to RB.
So moved.
Scheduled November 27th.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is called.
Announcements.
Mr. Richards.
All righty, thank you. I would first would like to recognize my granddaughter up there, Maya. Stand up, Maya. Yes.
All right.
She decided to come down and listen to the council meeting and watch her dad in action. And of course, that's my daughter next to her, LaWanda. And I'm glad to have them in the house.
There's a lot of great things going on in District 1, but I would like to start off with my District 1 community meeting for the Midtown community. We're looking for a very exciting meeting over there. This meeting will be held at the Ashland Place United Methodist Church on Thursday, November 15th at 6 p.m. Asking all our citizens in the Midtown community to please meet us there. We always have a packed out house when we hold the Midtown meeting. We have an exciting venue to go over. We're going to go over the CIP projects, the capital improvement projects, what's planned. We have a lot of drainage projects going on in Midtown, and we also have, there's a lot of things going on up at Sage Park. We're adding a lot of things up there. We're going over all of that. We're going to have an update on the Publix Midtown Shopping Village. And I say a shopping village because it's one of the few shopping villages in town where the stores in the village are said they're not attached, they're unattached. When you come into the shopping village in Midtown, in District 1, we don't have a lot of storefronts. These separate freestanding buildings. And we've already opened up Taco Mama. We have a Greek simple, simply Greek. That store would open up probably by a week's end, if not early next week. And then Rock and Roll Sushi would be next. And then the nail shop would be next. And the children's clothing store would be next. And on and on. Get ready. It's going to be happening in the Midtown Shopping Village. We're gonna invite Mr. Peavy to come to talk about trash and garbage because I received lots of complaints about, well, garbage is fine. We don't have any complaints. I don't get any complaints about that. It's basically about trash. And I'm going to invite Mr. Peavy to come to talk about trash. He is well able to do that. So we're looking for him to come and talk about that. And we always have people to talk about blight and why Mr. Peavy is there. He can go ahead on and handle blight. I just want the citizens in the Midtown to know it's coming on the 15th. Be ready and looking forward to seeing all of you at the Ashland Place United Methodist at 6 o'clock Thursday 15th. Be there.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. We had a wonderful District 5 community meeting last week at the Westminster Presbyterian Church. I'd like to thank Public Safety Director Barber and Interim Public Services Director Peavy for being there with us. A nice crowd for a District 5 meeting. They were well behaved. They asked a number of questions, and I would like to thank again those two gentlemen for being with us. I always like to put them up front because that's where the mass of the questions are, and get that out of the way before I have to stand up in front of everybody, and y'all did a great job. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Gregory.
Thank you. I was just laughing because usually that sort of offsets all the questions that he's going to get in anyway. So nice. That's why he puts them up front. Yeah, exactly. Right to the source. Last week, I had the opportunity to meet with some of the residents in Hillsdale. We are looking at making some major improvements in the neighborhood, and so we are gathering the residents to begin talking with them so that they have plenty of input as to what these improvements are. So Interim Director of Public Works or Public Services, Mr. Peavy, was there, as well as our city engineer, Nick Amberger, to do a little bit of a tour as well as look at some maps and go through and discuss options for these improvements. And I appreciate them being there as well as my residents who came out. We are looking at some really great some things that need to be done, and I look forward to working with the residents as well and holding some meetings and moving forward with all of those. So thank you for that. This past Saturday in District 2, Mr. Manzi, we had a huge turnout for the Making Strides Walk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It was just truly incredible to see all the people downtown dressed in pink. Clay Godwin, who was sitting right in front of us, was wearing his pink, and I had a picture taken with him, and I said, it's true, real men do wear pink, because Clay's been involved in the Wear Pink campaign. So thank you, Clay, for being there and for fundraising. And Danny is here. Daniel, did I see you at the... It was impossible to see everybody who was there. But it was just incredible. But the police officers were there, firefighters were there, and just a terrific crowd. Everybody was just walking. At first, I was concerned about walking 3.5 miles because I really haven't been able to do a whole lot lately. And when we started walking, we were barely going an inch. You know, it was one of those kinds of walks, and I said, I think I can probably handle this for a while. So we had a great turnout, and thanks go to all of our first responders who were there to help us make sure everything was safe and done well. The next item I have on my list is I'm meeting with representatives from the Mobile Botanical Gardens on Wednesday to talk about updates that they have going on out there. If you haven't been to the Mobile Botanical Gardens, you are truly missing a treat. It is in West Mobile, so yes, some of my colleagues on the council, you actually do have to cross the interstate to get there, but it is a treat, and it is so well run, and they've made so many improvements. You need to go out and take a look, tour, do a picnic. Just a perfect place also for meetings. I hold a lot of my community meetings there. But I'm going to get an update from them on the projects they have going on and just other improvements that they are making as well. So I appreciate that opportunity. And last but not least, I have my annual Christmas meeting coming up at the Mobile Museum of Art, and that will be December 10th. We will again recognize all of our first responders, and John, I've asked if you all will bring some of your folks from Public Services to come out and join us. We're looking for some entertainment. Hopefully the Mary B. Austin Singers will be able to join us again. It's a wonderful event. We recognize our homeowners associations as well and have some great food. It's really more of a fellowshipping kind of a meeting rather than a business meeting. Opportunity for the residents to get a chance to talk with all of our city workers and just, you know, celebrate the season. So again, that will be December 10th at 6 o'clock at the Mobile Museum of Art, and we will be sending out the postcards soon to everyone in the district so that they can put that on their schedules. And with that, Mr. Vice President, I think that will do it from and by the way, I just want to say a big thank you to Lanyap. Is Dale still in there? He is up top. I'm a cover girl now, so thank you. I appreciate that. When Dale emailed me to ask if he could interview me, I said, sure, you know, that's good. So I appreciate the wonderful article. Very well done. Thank you for that. I really appreciate you helping to spread the story about breast cancer awareness, so thank you for that. And that will finish up my comments for today, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you. Mr. Richardson, an additional remark.
I failed to mention that at my meeting, plan on having the police and fire chief to be there, talk about public safety, and the captain starting from the third print to talk about what's happening in that particular beat, B35. So we will have representatives from public safety on hand.
Thank you, Mr. Small.
Thank you, Vice President Manzi. On tomorrow evening, many of us are going to be celebrating Halloween, and the Maysville Community Action Group is having their annual block party on tomorrow evening. I'm very excited about tomorrow. Last year it made the news about they have a neighborhood haunted house, and I was expecting to go out on tomorrow evening and go through the haunted house this year, and also eat some good lobster and have some good candy out there. And then again, it's in the Maysville Community Action Group annual Halloween bash on tomorrow evening. Also, on this coming Saturday, Revitalize DIP is having a rally to unite the community. Their theme is a rally to show we are stronger together. That would be this coming Saturday at the BC Rain High School from noon to 4 p.m. Asking all the residents of South DIP to come out this coming Saturday at the BC Rain High School to unite and have some fun and fellowship. They will be having guest speakers and also food and other activities. Again, inviting all the residents, especially in the South DIP area, to come out on this coming Saturday. As I had mentioned earlier, tomorrow is Halloween. Wish everyone a safe and happy Halloween. And usually after Halloween, we get into our holiday seasons. And on next Tuesday, I am planning on announcing several holiday events that is coming up in District 3. So stay tuned. Thank you, Vice President Manzi.
Thank you, Mr. Small. Mr. Waite.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to call attention to my former colleague and friend, William Carroll, former city councilman for many years, in the audience today. Good to hear William. Also, I think it's appropriate that great timing that we heard from Mr. Hill concerning the what's going on in the trenches, and I always do appreciate his comments and conversation, and want to call it to attention that we have a rules meeting today, and by our rules, it is unless otherwise announced a public hearing of sorts, and we will take comment. We won't have extended dialogue, but we're going to talk about who can address, how they address, and how specific that has to be. That is one of the things that we will do today at 1 o'clock upstairs. So look forward to your attendance if you're able. Thank you.
Mrs. Rich.
Thank you. It's with a heavy heart that I invite everybody on behalf of the rabbi from the synagogue at 705 Regents Way, which is off of Airport between Hillcrest and Biddensburg. This will be a memorial service for the people that were announced at our meeting today who were gunned down, murdered by a madman, strictly because of their religion. If you don't know, they were there for their Shabbat service, which is a Saturday morning service of reading from the Torah, which is the book that is very important to the Jewish religion. They were also celebrating the naming of a new baby in their congregation. So it was a very happy event. And those present never dreamt that their religion would be used against them. And I thank Mobilians for rallying together and for also contacting me and expressing their sorrow, because I know we join with each other, because no religion should ever fear when they gather together. It's just not like America that we all know and love. And I too believe, really from the bottom of my heart, that most people are good. We have disagreements, and you know that old expression, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's when the words turn into a terrible action that they do hurt. And I know that we are not raised in a society of uncivil behavior, and there are laws that we follow, and there are rules that we embrace. And truly, I know that Mobile, like I said earlier, really has a grateful heart and a good heart. And I thank all of you for reaching out. I hope that if you cannot join us tonight in our service, that is open to everybody, so please try to come if you can. Just know that we are just like all of you. We are no different. We are all one. And the congregation that had members taken from them were made up of rich people, poor people, brilliant people, old people, and they were made up of disabled people, as you heard Frank talk about, members of the Goodwill community. So again, it teaches us that we are all alike and that we all come to celebrate joy, and we should never have to worry that we are going to be threatened. And so teach your children to understand each other. The more we know each other, the more we can understand. I've been exposed to anti-Semitism when I was a child, and I can remember my parents telling me, just let them get to know you. Not everyone can like you, but if they know you, then they can appreciate who you are, and they can respect you. And that's all that anyone asks. So again, thank you for your prayers, thank you for your condolences, and thank you for honoring today at our meeting the 11 killed just for their faith. And again, we hope this tragedy is not repeated again. Thank you, and may their memories be for a blessing.
Thank you, Councilor Rich. Again, you have our collective thoughts and prayers. This is a terrible tragedy that has struck the Jewish community. It struck the American community. And I don't quite know how you feel, but in some respect I do, because we as African Americans face these kinds of tragedies over and over and over and over again. And so let's keep the 11 and their families, the names that were called earlier, in our prayers, and those who can join in the service. Can you give us some details?
Yes, I'm sorry, it starts at 6:30 to 7:30, and it's an open service just in memory of those individuals so that we can memorialize them and their loss to the community at large and throughout our nation. And we'll start, and it's at 705 Regents Way, which is off of Airport between Benton Spur and University. Benton Spur and Hillcrest, rather.
Again, you definitely have our sincere thoughts.
Thank you, I feel
prayers.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I will be hosting tonight the third in a series of 5 community meetings. This meeting will be held at the Mount Gilead Baptist Church. It's on Congress Street, and it will start at 6 p.m. I'm hopeful that Mr. Peavy will be able to join us. Like my colleague to my left, many of the issues that are brought up in these community meetings are issues that his department has purview over, so I certainly hope that he'll be able to be with us tonight at 6 p.m. If I need to pick you up, I will. But we definitely would like you there. And we've written the mayor's office on other permanent employees that we'd like to be present to answer directly citizens' questions and concerns. Following this meeting, we'll meet at St. Joseph Baptist Church on Tuesday, November the 13th, and then we'll conclude at the Via Center on Tuesday, December the 11th. All of these meetings are at 6 p.m., and all citizens of District 2, City of Mobile, are certainly welcome to come. I want to acknowledge my predecessor, Mr. William Carroll. He's here. He was acknowledged earlier by Mr. Williams, but he lives in District 2, worked hard in our district for 8 years, and appreciate having his presence. He also, Mr. Ralph Gordon, who keeps things running at the James Seals Community Center. I often think that community center would not run as smoothly as it does if it were not for Mr. Gordon, and I want to publicly acknowledge both your presence and what you mean to our community. The last 3 days of our prior week, I had the opportunity to attend the City Building Exchange hosted by Mr. Andre Duane, and there was a contingent of Mobilians there: Elizabeth Stevens, Carol Hunter, Mike Rogers, Taylor Atchison. About 8 of us there learned a lot about various techniques, principally focused on downtown areas. Left there with one great idea that I know we want to work on, and it'll be called the Mobtown Mural Project. We're going to work with our local artists here in the City of Mobile, along with local building owners to find out exactly where we can strategically place Mobile-themed and Mobile-focused murals. This will be in conjunction with the Mobile Downtown Alliance. We're going to put some resources behind it so that artists can be compensated for their work and really make it something that's Mobile-focused, but that will add to the vibrancy that we're seeing in downtown Mobile. You'll be hearing more about this as we give it bones and flesh, but it'll be called the Mobtown Mural Project. We look to do 20 to 25 of them, world-class murals that people will want to come here to see and hopefully learn more and more about Mobile's sports history, Mobile's history in general, by way of some very creative murals. We have a great contingency of local artists who need these venues in order to really get their work out there. So I look forward to spearheading that effort along with Elizabeth Stevens at the Mobile Downtown Alliance. And Ms. Cochran, if there are any ordinances that we need to pass in order to allow this to be permissible, I'd ask that you would look into that so that we don't run into any legal issues as we try to move forward with this very progressive idea. If New Orleans can do it, we can too. While there, I had an opportunity just for an afternoon to participate in something that they call Voodoo Fest. Voodoo Fest. Now, I know that name might ring some bells, but it's a new festival that they've just gotten off the ground. 125,000 people just inundated New Orleans for this festival. And it hit me what they do the best in New Orleans. They throw great parties and they invite the world to participate. That's what the city of Mobile needs to do. We got all of these plazas, we got all of these squares. When we had something similar to that, Bayfest, hundreds of thousands inundated our city, filled up our hotels, packed out our restaurants. Mobile needs to start throwing a party and inviting the world to join in. It doesn't have to be a New Orleans style party. We can set our own parameters. But depending solely on oak trees and historic mansions to bring tourism here is not going to work. We're going to have to ring the bell for Mobile and allow the world to come and participate. And so I'm hopeful that that will be the direction that we go in. The only reason all those folks were in New Orleans was because of this particular festival. We see it works every New Year's Eve. Every New Year's Eve, when we have our moon pie drop. People come from all over to participate. If we don't put our own show on, then people won't come here to participate in it. So I think that's the direction hopefully we can work toward. All of these people, as I walk through City Park, say, well, where are you from? People from the Midwest, people from New York, people from the West Coast came specifically because they were having this festival. And I don't know why we could not follow that model, put our party on. We've got a theme saying, let's celebrate. Put the show on, let's celebrate, and invite the world to come celebrate with us. Born to celebrate. However it is celebrating. We've got to give them a reason to celebrate, but try it besides azalea bushes, oak trees, and historic mansions. We've got to do it. If New Orleans can do it, then Mobile can do it. And so that's my way from the city building exchange that I did participate in. And I'm hopeful that the only seed that's going to grow is the one we plant. Amen. I hope we plant some seeds. We'll be talking with the administration, hopefully about how we can bring some of this to life. Because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to come here to Mobile and do it for us. Any other comments from the council?
Yes, Vice President Manzi.
Mr. Small?
Yeah, I do agree with you 100%. For the last several years, I have made mention in council meeting about the news, the moon pie drop on New Year's Eve, that we always wait to the last minute to even announce the main attraction back in September, I was hearing people, many cities, preparing for New Year's Eve, and they were making the announcement who was the main attraction. And we waited until, December, last week in November to announce these things. I got an email today about a concert in February for Valentine's Day. But, the comment was made to me, well, all the hotels downtown are full. Well, we have hotels in West Mobile.
That's right.
We have hotels outside of the city limits, and we also have hotels over in Baldwin County. You can't wait till the last minute to make an announcement, hey, we got so-and-so coming. People already start making plans back in September of when they're going for New Year's. And another reason why we get the announcement so late is because of the budget. Well, New Year's coming next year. Go ahead and prepare for it. It's coming in 2020. Go ahead and prepare for it. It's coming in 2021. Go ahead and prepare for it. And I really believe that the city should work with the Events Mobile, Downtown Alliance, and et cetera, to go ahead and promote these activities that we have in our great city. Just like Bayfest, 1065 is okay, but just make it more cultural for everybody and bring someone here that people will enjoy. You have to spend money to make money, nobody not gonna come here just to see BB Boo, and they can go to right down to New Orleans and visit, Beyonce or et cetera. We have talent here, so you have to spend the money to make money, and we need to go ahead and showcase exactly what we have. Stop waiting to the last minute to make announcements as who coming here for the moon pie drop and et cetera. Thank you.
Any further comments?
Amen.
We're just selling ourselves short in that respect. I agree with Councilman Small 100%. Let's identify who we're going to have and let the world know it so that they can prepare to come here. But if I've got a litany of options, and we don't know what Mobile is to do, then Mobile won't be in the running. So I'm hopeful that we can make some progress, and I think we may even need to perform some kind of a task force with citizens involved that can help lead the discussion in this area. Because we need to have more of these type events, and I agree with Councilman Small. It takes money, an infusion of resources at the beginning in order to make it. But New Orleans is doing it every other weekend. They have some kind of a festival where they're inviting people to, and the people are coming. And they would do the same here if we had an organized plan and offered some attraction that people wanted to see. So I'm hopeful that's that direction. I know that's what I got from these 3 days. That was helpful and very eye-opening, and I'm going to be persistent in seeing that we make some progress in that regard. Madam City Clerk? I'm in, Madam City Council Attorney.
It would be appropriate for you to make a motion to go into executive session. I have provided the clerk with the proper declaration that is required by law.
Move to go into executive session.
We have a motion to go into executive session. There's a proper second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
We will
And
not
we
reconvene.
would not come back.
And we will not be reconvening. Thank all of you for coming today. She did. She made it.